Hey everybody, welcome to Culture. It's your homegirl, it's your host, Bromley. Today I've got a special guest and we're going to talk about mental health. So stay tuned. Let's get to it. So like I said, guys, today I have another special guest. And her name is Danielle Ghouri.
Hi, guys.
She's beautiful. She's super talented. And, I know that I've been saying that about, like, all of the people who have been coming on the podcast, but honestly, it's the truth. And Danielle is super, super talented in the sense that she's such a good singer. She's even taken part in competitions. Am I right, Danielle?
Yeah, but that was like ages ago.
No, trust me. Her voice is amazing. Hopefully, maybe like in the future, we'll have like a singing segment. And
we should, We already did though. Oceans.
Ocean. Oh yeah. That we recorded it, right? Like on the.
That was fun.
Yeah. I didn't upload that. Maybe I'll upload it again and people get to see it. But, like I said, guys, Danielle is a 4th year medical student here in Sofia, Bulgaria.
Yeah.
And I was asking her, like, Danielle, like, what do you want to talk about? And she was like, I want to talk about mental health. And I was like, what? Because this is a pretty heavy topic.
Yeah.
So first of all, I just want to, I usually compliment people at the end of the podcast, but I just want to take this up and say like, thank you for doing this, because I know you've said that, you're willing to talk about regarding mental health, regarding your personal life and everything. So thank you for doing this.
It's fine. I mean, it's a heavy topic, but I feel like hopefully I can help people, or like at least people can have an idea of how to cope with it and handle it from what I say. Hopefully.
Trust me, it's not easy. I'll give you that. Like if someone asked me, I'd be like, but maybe not. But thank you again. Okay. So like, why did you want to pick this topic to talk about?
Growing up, like I struggled a lot with depression and anxiety, and maybe like it stemmed from some circumstances in my childhood, and like as a teenager, when you're going through puberty and you're like emotional, and you don't really know how to cope with certain situations in your life, like in the best way when you're young. Yeah.
When I was thinking about the questions that I wanted to ask you, because, we all go through like anxiety and things like that.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
At some point.
It's normal.
But like for you said, when did you realize that this was a struggle?
When I went into secondary school, I like withdrew into myself and I was just quiet, and I only had like a couple of friends.
Yeah.
Didn't really fit in. Like I wasn't like the normal teenager who goes out and like is like getting with loads of different boys and going to discos. And I was an introvert. And I guess like people saw that in me and like took it as a sign of weakness.
Okay.
So even though it wasn't weakness, it got pointed out a lot at me that I wasn't like a normal 12-year-old, 13-year-old, even though for me, a normal 12-year-old shouldn't be going and discoing and kissing boys. Like, I don't think it's not normal to me.
Yeah.
And then, so I guess that's when it started, when people started kind of like pointing out my weakness, and I was kind of like seen as not normal.
Wow.
So I guess maybe that's kind of when it started, but I didn't realize it was a problem. I just kind of realized maybe, I'm not the same as other teenagers. And then so when I was like 16, I moved to a new school.
Okay.
And there it was like I was meant to be there. Like Amazing. It was such a good school. Like no one cared about if you were drinking or not. People were just like really dedicated to their work.
Okay.
And just like really lovely girls. I met like my friends that I'm still friends with.
Wow.
There. So I was still going through stuff. I think just like being a teenager, like I think I started to realize it was a problem then because people were more open about their mental health in that school. Like,
oh, they were sharing about it.
Yeah, people would share and people wouldn't judge you. And like, I had friends who were going through something similar. So like, it was kind of like, yeah, we're feeling this way. Like, what do we do? Mm-hmm. So I had one friend of mine who was saying therapy, like, is a good idea.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, okay. So I didn't really go to therapy throughout that. I was generally happy.
Yeah.
But there would always be part of me that would feel down.
Okay.
But not to a super bad extent.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it was time to leave secondary school. So
that was, would you say that's the period when you were going to come here? Or, because you said 18, right?
Yeah, so 18, but I didn't come to Bulgaria at 18.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was kind of like after, when I graduated, I was always like a happy person, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying I was like depressed when I was 17, 18. Maybe a bit more so in my first secondary school that I went to. Yeah. I was. But when I moved to the new secondary school, I kind of just came out of myself and like, I wasn't as like withdrawn. I was more like outgoing. Mm-hmm. Sorry if I say like a lot, by the way. I'm Irish and we say like
have
in
you heard
every
me? I
sentence.
say like, don't worry about it, flow, girl. Like, don't worry about it, don't worry.
So I think this second secondary school that I went to really like made me a happier person. I had like more friends. I was more outgoing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, when we graduated, all my friends kind of started going on to we call university college.
College, yeah.
So all my friends were moving on to college, and I'd always wanted to do medicine since I could talk, you know. Wow. I remember my parents, when I was younger, they asked me, oh, so what do you want to be when you grow up? And my dad's a nurse. So I was like, oh, I want to be a nurse like my dad. Like, oh, so he was like, well, nursing is quite laboring. So maybe go for something like medicine.
That's a labor.
So I was like, okay. So yeah, I always wanted to work in a hospital and like either as a nurse, a midwife, a doctor, like just something, you know?
Yeah.
So when I was 16, I kind of decided like, oh, I really like the idea of studying abroad. It would be so fun, like, you know, nice weather, like, just like, I thought it'd be really fun. So I started looking into that when I was 16, and thank God my parents like supported it, because like, I know a lot of my friends' parents would have been like, oh no, like, you know, if I go study abroad, my sisters want to go study abroad and it will be too expensive. Right, so I'm an only child. Okay. So they only had to think about me. So thank God, like, for that, in a sense. Being an only child is boring, but it's one of the benefits, you know? Yeah. So they were really supportive and they helped me apply to, Bulgaria. So I met up with like the representative and he helped me apply to Bulgaria, and I got accepted into Medical University Plevin. And that didn't start until February of the next year. I had no motivation to do anything. Like, all my friends were in college. I still saw them. But
like, they were seems like they're moving on.
I wasn't. I knew I would.
Yeah.
But I just was so bored, and like, that's kind of just when I started falling into the wrong things to keep myself occupied.
Wow.
And like, it was just like, that's kind of when I started falling into a dark place. I stopped eating. I was drinking a lot. Yeah. So like, one of my friends worked at a pub, and I'd go there like all the time just to see her, but I would be drinking. Like, no, like, just like, and she was studying, and like, she was working and studying. So, you know. So
did you know at the time, like, okay, you know what, I'm like going through like depression now? Or was it like, now that you look back, I'm like, oh yeah, that was a really dark phase in my life?
It was more now that I look back. I didn't realize like that was the starting point, but I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. And
did you try to get help, or?
Not at that stage.
Not at that stage. No. Okay. Did you share it with anyone?
One of my friends, I tried to share it with her, but I think like she wasn't in the right mental space to hear it either. But obviously, being 18, you're not really considering like about what other people feel. You're just kind of like, oh, I'm feeling this way. And I mean, it's really nice to be able to be open, you know, because I'm quite an open book. Yeah. Like, when people come to me, I'm going to tell them everything, because it's kind of like I want to help.
Help them. That's amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of when it started. That was like the main starting point. I just like stopped eating. It's like that was like the main things that I did wrong was like not wrong, but the main things that I got affected was my eating and drinking. Stopped eating, started drinking more, started going out more.
Yeah.
Like I'd be out at the club like all the time. Yeah. It just wasn't fulfilling.
Yeah.
I think I did speak to my parents about it, and I grew up a Christian.
Yeah.
But at that stage in my life, I didn't want anything to do with it. Yeah.
Yeah. I know that phase because I've like, I wouldn't say that I've been through like there was a period in my life that I've been through. I have had massive like anxiety, like regarding like situations that I've gone through in my life, like with friends, or I have had, but I've never had a time period like, okay, let's say a month or something like that. It's always been like for a short period of time, but I felt it. And like and you know, you start like filling your life with a lot of things that it's crazy. Like you think these things will kind of like take that like pain away or take that either numbness that you're feeling inside, but like it then like it's usually in the morning, like when you wake up in the morning.
That's when it hits.
Always in the bloody morning. You're like, what am I doing? Like what is going like so it's just, Danielle, you're hitting a lot of like, trust me, I can relate. Yeah, so go for it.
So I talked to my parents, and being Christian, they wanted to give me the Christian advice. I didn't want to hear the Christian advice. Yeah. So they'd be telling me, you know, you need to pray to God, you need to read the Bible. Yeah. And for me, at the time I was like, that's not practical. Like that's not what life is. Yeah. You know, so don't tell me that. And like, I think, was it then? No, sorry. So after I'd gone, I'll get to that later. Sorry. No. So my mom even said like, whenever I was not drinking, she could see this like haze over my eyes. Like when I'd be walking, I'd look like I was just in my own world. Like, oh wow, I'd look like I wasn't connecting with people around me. I just looked, I don't know. Like she said it was like, she said it was frightening. Like she felt scared for me. Like she was upset when she'd see me like that.
So when was this? This was
like before I went to Plevin.
Okay. So this, you're still in UK.
I'm still in Ireland.
Ireland. Sorry.
I'm Irish, guys.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah.
It's fine. So I went, my mom like had a feeling something was really wrong with me. And she kind of was trying to convince me and my dad that I shouldn't go to Plevin because she didn't think I was ready.
Okay.
And so we were kind of like, no, I'm fine. I just wanted to go to a different country and have fun. Like that was my thing. So I went to Plevin in January, and I was having a great time making new friends, like not being a Christian, like not wanting anything to do with God and my faith, and still not eating. Still not eating. I was like a bit underweight at that stage, and my dad was really worried about me, and he kept telling my friend, because my dad came to Bulgaria with me to get me settled for the first few weeks, and he kept telling my friends, please make sure she eats, but there was only so much they could do, you know what I mean? It wasn't like I wasn't eating because I wanted to lose weight. I just physically couldn't eat. If I ate, I felt this load of anxiety. If I ate, it was like, oh my gosh, what have I done? It was like something I felt really guilty for. That probably just stemmed from the depression or something. But yeah, so I got to Plevin, and my dad was like seeing me going out with my friends at night, and like he was just worried, but like he didn't say anything. He tried to get me settled and do his best. Yeah. So when he left, I was just living my life, spending all my money on alcohol and barely any on food. So like for breakfast, I might have a spoon of Nutella. For lunch, I might have a spoon of Nutella. For dinner, I'd have a spoon of Nutella. Like that was it. So it's not like I was even being healthy. And then like once a week, I might like have a nice meal. Like, oh wow. But yeah, I mean, my friends were worried about me. The friends that I had in Pleven, they were worried about me, and they would say, "You need to eat," because when we would go out to eat, I would eat like the tiniest bit and then like be done, and then drink, you know. Yeah. So I did a semester in Pleven, which is 6 months. So I just was so depressed in Pleven because I love the people. The people were really great. But the place itself was just making me more depressed. Yeah. And I was drinking more.
And it's like, in Pleven, it's not like very city like Sofia, right? There's not many...
It's like a village, to me anyway.
Yeah.
Because I'm from Dublin, it's the capital of Ireland. Oh, wow. And
pretty sure it's pretty popping there.
What?
It's pretty popping there.
Popping?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Party and stuff.
Yeah, no, it's really great. Like, I love Dublin. Yeah. So moving to Pleven was like a massive adjustment. I was so depressed. I was like, oh, there's nothing to do here. I just wanted to run away. Like, there was times like I just went walking on my own just to like walk just as far away as I could.
By yourself?
Yeah, just by myself. Like, just walk as much as I could, because like I just felt like I needed to escape.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, towards the end of my time in Pleven, one of the girls I was living with, really lovely girl, she was a Christian too, and she was going to church, and I felt like, okay, it's time, you know. Yeah. I need to go to church. So I started going to church. I think it was for like the last 2 months or a month maybe. And I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. It was kind of like, I felt like happy, lighter. I felt lighter.
Yep.
Just being in that atmosphere. It's like, it like really lifts the weight.
I know what you mean.
And I'd go to church, but I'd still be living my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I want to leave. I don't want to sit the exams. I want to come home.
Okay.
I'm feeling too bad. Like, get me a flight now. Like, I was like crying because I had so many panic attacks. Like, just thinking, what is my life going to? Like, I'm here studying medicine and I'm like not studying. Like, I'm just being a bum at home.
Oh, like, so this would be how many months into being here in Bulgaria?
So I was 6 months in Pleven.
Okay, 6 months. And then, okay, cool.
Yeah, so I was just like, Mom, it's time for me to come home. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't even know if I want to study medicine anymore. So I went home over the summer. I was hanging out with lots of my church friends. And we would always go out for eating. I was like a lot happier in myself. But I was still going out clubbing, drinking. Yeah. Like, it was still my coping mechanism.
Yeah, because, you know, it's like, it's funny. It's not possible to completely like, oh yeah, you know, because these things have a way of like still remaining in our lives, because it's like you said, like this was part of your life for a long time. So you can see it's hard for you to like kind of strip that away in like, you know, just because you started going to church to completely, I've always heard stories like that. Like, it's always kind of a little bit like you've got your foot in one, like, you know, and your other foot in the other one. You're trying to like kind of balance it out. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So like, no, like I always went to church, but from like the age of like maybe 18 till like quite recently, I just didn't want anything to do with Christianity. I just thought it was impractical. I thought like, no, that's not how life is. Like, I was like, Christians try to make it seem like life is so perfect when it's not. So I was just really negative about it. So but I still went to church. I still loved my church friends. Like, we had so much fun, and we'd always eat. Like, I love the fellowship, and it made me feel lighter and better about myself. But then like, when the night came, then I'd be like, okay, now it's time to go out, so I don't have to think about anything. So that was a summer at home. I came back during that summer, then I really had to think about what I wanted to do. So I said, Mom, I want to go to Sofia.
Okay.
And study medicine. I want to start again. I just want a fresh start.
Yeah.
And I just thought, okay, I know what I want now. Yeah. And this is going to be it. So, but I still wasn't like really into the whole Christianity thing yet. So, then I applied to Sofia, got in, came to Sofia, and so I asked my mom to come with me because I needed her there, because I knew that my mom's my rock. Like, she's my rock. I love her.
She's beautiful.
Thank you, Bromley. Thank you. No, she is amazing. Like, she's such a great mother, and like, she's always tried to be there for me.
Yeah.
And she knows me. So like, she's able to help me whenever she sees me, like whenever she did see me dipping. So came with my mom to Sofia. I was still going out drinking, partying, because we had freshers, right?
Yeah.
So like, we were going to me and my friends were going to all the parties, and like, it was just really fun. Like, it was a really fun time. I can't deny
and
it.
plus, at that time, I think even in the medical university, there was like a lot of like stuff going on. I think at that time, we had a lot of organized parties and things like that. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
There was like the rooftop at NDK and like different parties like that, and like just getting to meet new people. It was so fun. It was so fun. And I was actually doing really well at that stage.
Okay.
Like mentally.
Yeah.
And then was it second year? Or like, I think it was in second year.
Yeah.
That's when the next depression hit.
Oh, wow.
So I was alone. I didn't really have any friends at that stage. And it was just me.
Yeah.
So so what I did again was I withdrew
from everything.
From everything, everyone. Like, I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want to be friends with anyone. Like, it was just me. And I had one friend, but it was like not a good friendship. So, so yeah. And then like, I was just really depressed, but I wasn't drinking because this friend and I like didn't really drink much.
Yeah.
So I wasn't drinking, and then me and that friend stopped being friends.
Yeah.
And I started being friends with my group again.
Okay.
And I was a lot happier.
Yeah.
I was so happy. I was like,
so like you felt like that friendship was good, that friendship moved away.
I was good that friendship moved away because I was isolated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was isolated from my friends before.
Yeah.
So I was so happy when I became friends with like my old friends again. We were going out drinking, eating, clubbing. Like, it was such a good time.
Yeah.
It was such a good time, but not fulfilling again. Right. I was happy obviously back then because I was like, my friends, like I have my friends back. Like, this is what life is about. But yeah, I wasn't going to church, and you think you can fill the hole that you're feeling with, like, yeah, your friends are great, but they're not going to fill that hole.
Hi guys, as you can tell, Danielle had a lot to say about mental health. Like, honestly, I cannot believe how vulnerable this girl is choosing to be, and I'm quite speechless actually. Her story continues on, so stay tuned for the next episode where she carries on and talks in detail about what she found here in Bulgaria. So yeah, thank you for listening in. Like I always say, send me your feedback, and if you have any suggestions or any requests on topics that you want us to talk about, please let me know. But until then, I'll see you guys next week. But take care of yourselves. Like I always say, stay healthy, wash your hands, drink a lot of lemon juice, and be blessed, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye, you guys.